relationships, whether it's with a man, whether it's with our children, whether it's with our friends, whatever that relationship is. And we have these, what we call schedules, routines, habits that we like to live in. And we absolutely miss the most important thing in life, is having strong relationships. And as a game changer, the most important thing is the relationships and the people that you stay connected with. You know, the theory is always what we know. We always think about all these wonderful sheets of papers, degrees, and who we've become, these people. But the real thing is the people that you know. I don't care how many resumes you fill out. I don't care how many people you talk to, how many interviews you have. If you don't know nobody, you won't get in.
That's right.
And so I don't care how educated you show up, how many designer clothes you wear. And we've all been to that interview where we felt like we was the most qualified person there. So this journey of marriage maintenance for me became actually on today, 3 years ago, I actually buried a husband. Yes. So I went from married to widow real quick. Because you don't plan that journey. And y'all know as cancer survivors, you struggle to that point. So I said, I'm not going to cry, I'm not going to even talk about that. But it's that day, which actually has happened to be my son's 25th birthday today, too. So it's interesting things to share on that day, a birth and a death. So in our life of relationships, we have to take those priceless moments very serious. And we always feel like we have time for people. And our lives become so busy. So I'm going to give you really 8 steps. Thank you. Why be looking like a little raccoon. In those 8 steps, that will actually, and they're daily steps, we get so out of whack in our lives that we don't do things consistently. And that's how we lose touch with people. So these 8 steps will help you stay consistent in your relationship no matter who they're with. So in that, we're going to talk about how to take your relationships from a good to a better to the best place. Because we always say we good. That's one of my favorite sayings. When somebody asks me something, I say I'm good. But what they really want to know, are you your best self? Are you doing the best that you can do for yourself? And 9 times out of 10 we aren't, because we've developed habits just to get by. So these are 8 daily habits that we're going to develop. First, our relationship with ourselves, our relationships with God. And once we do that, we will have the best relationships that we can have in life. So starting out, I always tell people the best thing is the foundation of love. If you miss that component, you miss everything else that comes after that. So the first step is the foundation of love. And of course, love is set up in a place where you got to love God, you got to love yourself, because if you don't have those two, loving others is impossible. So that's the first step in the transition. And then, secondly, is to stay connected. Because we tell people we love them, and we haven't talked to them in how long? And we just say, well, when we talk to each other the next time, we'll just jump back in where we left off. And sometimes you call that person and they're not there anymore. They're not on that other end. And we have no idea what's going on in their life. So if you stay connected to people daily, and we live in a world that there is no excuse to stay connected. We have too many ways to connect to people. It used to be, okay, my house phone, but you got a cell phone, you got Skype, you got Uber, and no matter where that person lives, there should always stay some type of daily connection. Even if you don't verbally talk to them, text them. So there is no way that you should lose connection with people. Secondly, always celebrate people. We become very selfish people. And we want it to be all about us. But if we don't learn, the main thing is celebrate people. And it does not mean they have to get a promotion. Whatever happens good in their day, celebrate it. It don't mean you have to go put candles, drink champagne, toast to it. But you can always say something positive to celebrate something that occurred that day. Simple things that lose. Choose wise counsel, because we listen to the wrong people in our lives. So choose wise counsel. When you having issues in a relationship, don't go to the person who don't care about you to talk about it. Don't go to the person who don't even want you to talk to that person, because they will give you bad advice and tell you everything that that person has done wrong instead of encourage you to stay in that relationship and communicate about it. So sometimes you can't find the people that agree with you, that's going to get mad with you at that person too. And wise counsel does not mean always telling your mama. So I know mamas are in here, because the problem is mama going to still be mad at that person.
Tell it.
When you get unmad. So you have to tell a person who is not going to stay angry, who is not going to judge that person. And sometimes that means somebody in a professional place. Yeah. Sometimes you have to get professional counseling, professional coaching. We don't like to do that because we don't want to spend our money to get our lives straight.
Right now.
But our relationship is the most important investment in our lives. And sometimes you talking to somebody else, you find out you're the problem, not that other person that you go around dragging around. So if you actually sit down and talk it through, you will find out that you need to work on some things with yourself to have better relationships with other people. And we need to learn how to cover people. We need to learn how to say when we get up in a prayer life that we actually cover people, love people, instead of talking back against them and stabbing them in the back. If somebody does something you don't like, the first thing we do is tell somebody else instead of pray about it and find out what the real root of the issue is. Pray whatever the issue is. And you know what? Most of the time, if you pray for somebody, you can't be planning and plotting against them. Two of those things cannot happen at the same time. If you're down on your knees praying, you are not creating a plan to plot. So take your time, cover and pray instead of taking the time to plan and plot against somebody. And very important, you have to have routine checkups in your relationship. So, and that's going back to staying connected. But if we have frivolous, fraudulent conversations with each other, and y'all know what that means as women, we will call you, we would talk about your hair, your nail color, the spa, what dress you wearing there, but we will never talk about the real issues and the real issues between me and you. Because we'll talk about all the gossip, we'll ask you about everybody else, but we don't ever have the conversation about me and you. What's going on with me and you? And we know there is some tension. And it might not be, but we never talk about what the real issues are between me and you. Y'all got a girlfriend that y'all talk about everything but real stuff.
That's good. That's good.
Y'all talk about everybody else's business. And then you wonder why they don't tell you nothing real. Because they feel like you're going to jump on the phone and talk to the next person about all their business too. So get a checkup in there and find out what is going on with your relationship. Some of them need to be weeded out.
Tell it.
Yeah, all our relationships we don't need to keep.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah, and we spend our time maintaining the wrong one. We put a lot of effort and maintenance on the people who dragging us down, putting sand in our gas tank. Y'all know what sand is. Keep you from going anywhere because they just want you to stay right there where they are.
Yeah.
All right, closure. You know how many times y'all spend arguing with people? Being frustrated over stuff. And this is really about your mate because you go to bed angry with them. You wake up angry with them. And you don't even remember what you arguing about. You're just angry. And sometimes closure means walking away from some people.
Tell it. Tell it.
Yeah, closure does not always mean when we end this conversation, we're going to go back and be friends to exactly where we were. So closure means sometimes that we are going to rip the Band-Aid off the wound. Be real about what it is that you hurt. And the wound is going to be exposed, and that means we're going to walk away from each other. And that's the closure that we give each other. So the last step is new beginnings. And we know what that means. You get a fresh start. And y'all know this happens all in one day. All those 8 steps every day.
Yes. Wow.
That's right. You start over fresh with that person.
Wow. That's amazing.
All right, see, she gave me my time.